situation has deteriorated sharply yesterday and further exacerbated by American strikes targeting Iranian nuclear facilities. Algeria expresses its deep concern and regret over this grave development, which significantly worsens the security and exposes the entire region to unprecedented risks with potentially uncontainable consequences. The erosion of the international nuclear security architecture poses a grave threat not only to regional stability, but also to the global peace and security. Attacks on nuclear facilities under international safeguards seriously undermine the integrity and credibility of the global non-proliferation regime. Therefore, we reaffirm that the legal framework safeguarding nuclear installations is clear, is comprehensive, is binding. Its very existence is precisely to ensure the highest levels of safety and protection for such facilities. The resolution of the IAEA General Conference
इस वक्त अमेरिका का ईरान पर हमला और इस हवाले से सलामती कौंसिल का हंगामी इजलास जारी है, जिसमें मुख्तलिफ ममालिक के मौक़िफ़ सामने आए हैं। पाकिस्तानी मंदूब आसिम इफ्तिखार की जानिब से कहा गया है कि ईरान पर अमरीकी हमले की मज़म्मत करते हैं। गुज़िश्ता इजलास में अरकान ने कशीदगी से आगाह किया था। पाकिस्तान ने UN चार्टर
unlawful right of self-defense under Article 51 of the UN Charter. We will take all measures deemed necessary at our disposal to protect our people, our sovereignty, territorial integrity, national and vital interests, and our peaceful nuclear program in accordance with international law. Once again, I would like to remind this esteemed body of its legal and moral obligation. If this Council and the United Nations built to maintain international peace and security fail to act at this decisive moment, they will forever lose their credibility and relevance. Israel and the United States are the chief culprits for eroding the rule of law, undermining international law, the IAEA statute, and the non-proliferation regime. However, the silence, double standards, and complicity of international organizations and some Western countries, including France and the UK, are equally reprehensible. The UN Security Council should immediately act under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter to redress such injustice and gross violation by strongly condemning the blatant aggression, violation, and heinous crimes committed against the Islamic Republic of Iran, adopting effective enforcement action against the aggressor, hold the United States and Israeli regime fully accountable, place the Israeli nuclear facilities under agency safeguard. This is a historic test for this Council, for the United Nations as a whole. Every state and every responsible actor must rise to this occasion and condemn without ambiguity. These blatant crimes, failure to do so will lead to the gradual decline of the very aspiration of the non-proliferation regime and normalize a dangerous precedent when might, our rights, right, and where the fundamental principles of the UN Charter are trampled without consequences. Madam President, distinguished colleagues, we stand at the crossroads. Let us be the moment we put an end to impunity. The moment we uphold the principles on which this Council was founded, this Council must act decisively. Silence will be complicity in these crimes. If this Council fails to act and condemn this blatant aggression, the stain of complicity will forever remain on its conscience as it does with Gaza. I thank you.
I thank the representative of the Islamic Republic of Iran for his statement, and I give the floor to the representative of Israel.
Thank you, Madam President. First, I would like to thank the Secretary General, ASG Yancha, Director General Grossi, for your remarks. Madam President, last night, history changed. The United States of America struck Iran's nuclear sites at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. The United States, the leader of the free world, removed the greatest existential threat facing the free world. Just like our Operation Rising Lion, this was not a war of choice. This action was a necessity. It was a righteous act for the United States, for Israel, for the Middle East, and for the world. So the entire
ओह, कराची की निहारी। Don't worry मामा, पाकिस्तान जितने खाने बनाता है, नया ब्राइट उतने दाग बताता है।
hesitated. Thank you for protecting the free world with strength and with moral clarity. Now, some come here to denounce the United States and Israel. So let me ask you, where were you? Where were you when Iran raced toward the bomb? Where were you when it enriched uranium far beyond the point of civilian usage? When it buried entire fortress beneath mountain to prepare for our extermination? Where were you when Iran turned negotiation into theater and deceit into strategy? You were silent. You were complicit. You were afraid. You were bystanders. Months ago, I sat before this council and called for a coalition of the courageous. I called for a coalition with the moral clarity and strength to confront the greatest threat our world has seen since the Second World War. Last night, the leader of the free world acted with that courage. The United States acted, not just for itself, but for every nation that values freedom over radicalism. For every nation whose children deserve to grow up without the shadow of a nuclear disaster hanging over their heads. Now, the world must follow suit. Madam President, we have heard many calls for diplomacy today.
ईरानी मंदूब इस वक्त सलामती कौंसिल के हंगामी इजलास से